Yo, yo, yo! Here's another Guilds of Ravnica draft, and the reason why I'm so pumped is I opened up an Assassin's Trophy. Not only a great removal card, despite being gold, but also worth like 10 tickets. So, this draft almost just paid for itself already. So the value makes this a clear pick, and also it's a busted card. If this was not in the pack, I might go Command the Storm here. Parthenian Patrol is good. Sonic Assault's actually really good, even for being a gold card. It's actually a fairly weak pack outside of those, so I'm glad I got this value card right off the bat. All right. So let's see. The decks I have 3-0'd with were both Golgari. So I am not opposed to the old Black-Green Guild. With that said, I hear nothing but kind of mediocre things about Golgar in this format, but I have happened to have really good luck with it. Might have something to do with it being very open both times I went into it. And oh, look at this. Okay. So we have an interesting pick here. I'm looking at two cards that go with Assassin's Trophy is Golgari Fine Broker and Deadly Visit. I'm going to go with the Fine Broker. It kind of puts a stake in the ground for Golgari for us, and it at least doesn't pass, any Golgari cards. Gotta shut up that G-chat noises. So, Deadly Visit, though, however, if we do go Demir, if it ends up being open, which I don't think it will because we're passing some blue cards, we could always splash for Assassin's Trophy, but I like Golgari Fine Broker a lot. It's a pretty busted card in Limited. 3/4/4/4 is very solid to begin with, and the fact that you get a permanent back from your graveyard is pretty good. Okay, we're seeing a lot of Golgari cards coming our way. This Arboretum Elemental is good, but I don't think is worth the cost, even though you can convoke it. Maybe with Golgari Fine Broker comes back, but there's a lot of fast form or some aggressive decks in this format, and you can't be just having this card in your hand from the get-go, trying to get stuff out, and you might come upon situations where you need to trade off. This is more of like a Selesnya card because in Golgari you kind of want to trade off your cards and get stuff in your graveyard with for Undergrowth, and so you're not gonna have a lot of things on the board to convoke. With that said, I think the pick here is between Vigor Spore Worm and Severed Strands. Dissonance a good 2-drop, but I think Severed Strands goes really well in Golgari. You want to get your stuff in your graveyard, and that helps with this. Pilfering Ebb kind of goes along those same lines, right? You can put this in your graveyard willingly with sacrifice. We don't have any Undergrowth mechanics right now. We only have like buy this back. Siege Worm, same reason with Convoke. It's not really what Golgari is trying to do. I do like Whispering Agent. It is a really good card to kind of flash in. You could trade it off with something. It is double black in this deck since we won't have blue, so it's a little harder to cast, but I think it's strong enough to go for it. Parson Bats is whatever, Dowser Lights, whatever. I like Whispering Agent. Along those same lines here, we have another Whispering Agent. We have an Undercity Uprising, which is decent, but it's actually not the greatest thing, because it's basically letting you trade up for some low cost or low power creature. Maybe it's a 1/4, you can make it stick around. And it gives you other things Death Touch, so it gets in, but honestly, it's just kind of like a bad Prey Upon or a removal, and we already got 2 pretty direct removals, so I think I'm just going to go for this. I think a second Whispering Agent is what I want. Alright, so we have Hatchery Spider here, which is actually an Undergrowth payoff. Lets you basically cast green cards. We're pretty heavy black right now, and I don't know if green is getting cut, but we're seeing more Demir cards than green cards, so I might actually Hmm. We can go for the guild. I think we should pick Hatchery Spider. I don't think it's late enough to not pick the best card, even if we're not seeing green. Spinal Centipede is good for Golgari deck. You want to trade it off, it gets a counter. This is a decent 2-drop for any green deck. Barrier Bones is better in Dimir, but I think we're just going to go Centipede. Okay, Iron Shell Beetle is actually a pretty good green card. I think I'm going to take that over the second Severed Strands. This card is also a nice sack outlet for Severed Strands. We can get a counter on something. Add Sword Green. I'm not really generally excited about Mood Mark Painter, but it is in our colors. This Undergrowth could be good if your graveyard is pretty stacked. Crushing Canopy is a great sideboard card. There's a lot of annoying flyers in this set. Here. Barrier Bones might be better than Wild Ceratok. We want to make trades. This isn't making any trades for us, but it's a good Severed Strands target. It can slow down some early attacks. It lets it surveil. I think I'm going to go with it over Wild Ceratok. Ceratok's very replaceable. I'm going to pick... Oh, look at that. We got Undercity Uprising back. So that's good with like Iron Shell Beetle. We can drop the counter on something and then just Undercity Uprising. Spinal Centipede, we get at least something if we have to kill that. It's actually really good with Fine Broker since it has 4 health. So I'm okay with this start. I think our first several picks were really strong and then teetered off pretty quickly, but Assassin's Trophy and Fine Broker are definitely both solid pickups. If it goes really late game, if we can buy back Hatchery Spider with the Fine Broker, that's sick nasty. But, you know, you can't expect that to be happening every time. Whew! Okay, but then you can just open a busted rare in your colors perfectly. And, you know, sometimes it just works out like that. So we're definitely going Find Infinality. District Guide is really good. Undercity Necrolisk, really good. Hired Prisoner, really good. All good for Golgari. Since it gets things, you know, kind of gives you things to trade off. This thing gets things in the graveyard. But honestly, Finality Find is a no-brainer here. And then we get to follow this up with a Deadweight. Second Sever Strands. Sever Strands gets pretty bad in multiples. It's good to have one in a Golgari deck. You have a lot of things you generally want to sack, and you don't mind sacking them. But the problem with Severed Strands is that if you have no creatures, it is just a dead card to draw. And if you have no creatures on board, you're probably not winning that game. And then to draw a dead card in addition to a land, or instead of a land, is just kind of a punch in the stomach. I do like Deadweight because actually you can, since it's a permanent, you can get it back with Golgari Fine Broker, which I think a lot of people don't recognize. And that is pretty sick. Okay, here we also have some good cards. This is actually a pretty busted pack. Yeah, we Dragonauts, Command the Storm, Electromancer, Notion Rain, Payless Gorgon. Between Guildmage and Gorgon, I actually like Gorgon a lot, but Guildmage gives you a lot of flexibility in terms, you know, it helps you stabilize against some aggro decks. The Menace thing is nothing to sneeze at in the later game once you have the extra mana. I do like Payless Gorgon, I like the Guildgate, but we're going to go with the Guildmage in this instance. Okay, so now we've got to pick between, we don't need a second Crushing Canopy. Circuitous Route isn't really what we're trying to do. I think this pick is between Hired Prisoner and a Vigor Spore Worm. We already have a couple of high-end cards. I think what this deck is actually sensitive to is dying by aggressiveness. Because if we can kind of get to our more expensive cards, I think we'll be in a good shape. So I'm going to go Hired Prisoner here. It kind of stops very early attacks. You could trade with anything. I think I'm good with that. We don't have like a ton of 1-drops, so I'm trying not to play this bad generally. But yeah. Okay, this is another interesting pack. Might of the Masses is not good in this deck whatsoever because you want to be making off trades, so it's the same reason as Convoke cards aren't that good. You probably won't have too many creatures on the board at any given time. I do like Iron Shell Beater a lot, but this Crawl Forgers kind of fills out a curve nicely, gets us some life back, and 4/4s have performed well in general. So let's do that. It's also something to actually put these 2 counters on that will survive. We actually only have 3-4 creatures that we can do that with. Siege Worm is whatever. I'm gonna take the second Severed Strands. I don't know if I want to put it in my deck yet, but that is what we're gonna be doing. Creeping Chill isn't good. Another. I don't really want a second Undercity Uprising, so I'm gonna go Wild Ceratok. I'm glad we got another Beetle. I'll happily play that. Here, Dowser of Lights is actually pretty good too. It gives us another target for this. It just fills out our curve nicely. We don't have anything blue we want to splash for. We have a decent amount of 2. Actually, we only have 3 2-drop creatures. So it's between Shieldmate and Dowser of Lights to me. And I think it's more important. We have a lot 3 1-drops that are all stop early aggressive. So I'm going to go for that. Field Shade for the sideboard maybe. I'm okay with the Vines, maybe we'll include it. Boros must be pretty open. But I think we're pretty open too. Even though that pack we didn't get anything too great sent our way. Deadweight and Fine Finality kind of make the pack worth it though. I'm happy with this Hired Prisoner. I'm good with this Crawl Foragers. It was a solid pack, but nothing amazing. Actually, we got this with Guildmage, which is good. Works well with anything Death Touch. We'll just pick this. Whoever's going Boros this time around is going to be happy. Whatever. Cut a slightly stronger card. Convoke. Okay, maybe we can open another bus that we're on our colors. No luck this time around opening a Golgari rare or anything, but I am happy to pick up this Deadly Visit. Surveil 2 is always good, kills another creature. We're getting good removal here. I think Hitchclaw Recluse, if that comes around, that will be the pickup over Devkarin Dissident or Pilfering Imp at this point. Ooh. Okay, so we have an actual choice here. Molder Hulk is not that great. I mean, it might cost less, but 6/6 for 9 is... I hate having just a bunch of cards in hand that could be dead if you just start with them early on. Generous Stray is good for this deck, but I think the choices here between Deadweight and Harpooner. Harpooner is a great card, but I think Deadweight is just so good in this format. We can't not pick that up. We're not going to see that 3/2 come back, the Harpooner, but I think Deadweight is just so good. We can probably get rid of his Barrier Bones now. We have some good targets for Severed Strands, but not too many. I might put back one of these walls. I think I like Porticulus Vine better than Barrier Bones, just because you can sack it and draw a card. Oakrand Assassin's really good. If we Swarm Mage it, you know, 2 things have to block. Can't really do that out of nowhere, so they could set that up pretty easily. And you can Mood Mark Painter it out of nowhere, which is pretty good. And it just trades off for whatever their best card is, and it's a good blocker. Just gonna go for that. Nothing really exciting in this pack for us. I guess we'll just take the Combat Trick. We don't want 2 of the bats, I don't think. We definitely aren't playing this though, but we're not gonna be short on playables. I mean, we can throw in a couple of these and get to our 23 cards. It'd be nice to have some like Guild Gates to work with, but really the only ones that we want is the Golgari one. It'd be stupid to put a Demure one in there because it's just as good as the Swamp for this card. Whew! Look at this pack. Well, there's literally the only card in our colors is Siege Worm, and are we gonna want to play that? I don't think so. We have some good top end already. I think if we could cast either of these spells, we're sitting pretty good. Though this doesn't have a ton of targets. It has 1, 2, actually 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. That's pretty good. I think I'm just gonna cut the Notion Rain. Maybe doesn't really do much to cut that. Hate draft that. Okay, so this pack is kind of drying up for us. We have nothing to splash with, so taking anything off color isn't really worthwhile. So we'll just take this Locket. It might be playable. I mean, we can ramp into some good. We have some good 5, 6, 7 drops here, and then we could always draw 2 cards, which this deck is kind of short on card draw. I mean, this is the only kind of card advantage card we have, I think. And we actually have kind of 2-for-1ing ourselves with the Severed Strands. But really, our removal is really good. We've got Deadly Visit here. This counts as removal, though very expensive. We've got Unclean Uprising, Assassin's Trophy, Severed Strands, 2 Deadweights. This is a removal heavy deck. Ooh, I'm super happy to see this Undercity Necrolist come back. It's really good for these Iron Shell Beetles once they've kind of done their job. It can get us Menace. My Xbox just finished updating, so that's exciting stuff. Let's see. Now this is a little tough choice between a second Crawl Foragers and a Crushing Canopy. I think we have enough removal and already 1 Crushing Canopy to where I'd rather have a second Crawl Foragers. Again, we're not doing much here. That's fine. We need to cut 1 card. It's probably going to be... I don't know if I want this high of a curve, so I might just cut this Dowser of Light. If they have a lot of 4 damage removal, I'll board it in for this Crawl instead of the Crawl Foragers. But it looks like we should have at least 3 or 4 creatures in the graveyard during the mid-game. So these are pretty good. Gain us some life. Demir, Gilgate. Don't really have a use for it. I don't really want to play this Locket. Maybe I do. We have... That's tough. I might play it. I usually don't, but... Let's see here. I guess I'll take another Vine just in case it's a super aggressive deck. Trying to... My Xbox is freaking out. I haven't turned it on forever. Now it wants me to delete a bunch of stuff. It's freaking out, man. It's trying to install a million things at once. Oh my god, this is something I'm gonna have to do later. Okay. Oh my god, it won't shut up. It's the worst. Alright, so I think this is the deck we're playing. If we sort by color, what are we looking at here? Get out of here. Okay. So we definitely have more black heavy. These are double black. So our mana is not going to be great with 17 lands and no dual lands. We have the Golgari Locket, so I think we're going to have to run like 9 black, no 8 green, and then have the Locket to make it 10-9. I think that's what we're going to do. We do have 3 1-drops. Should we do 10-7? That seems low, right? If we go 10-7, it's 8 with the Locket. We do have a ton of double black. I think I'm going to do 10-7. Okay, let's take a snip of this. Okay, don't have quite the end card there, but that's fine. Okay, and let's run this out.